Hey guys, it's your buddy Rome. In this video, we're going to take a look at an amazing product that was sent out to me. Now, many of you guys who follow me know that I'm a photographer, I am a videographer, I do some short films, commercial work, things like that. So having good lighting, guys, is number two in my list of items when I think about doing a production, okay? I think audio is still going to be number one. Audio is primary. Audio is the thing that's going to capture people's attention and keep them drawn into whatever it is you are creating. Lighting becomes the second tier, okay? So having quality lights or having affordable quality lights in today's world is a must-have. Godox has produced a ton of lights that I am a huge fan of. Now, complete disclosure, this light was sent out to me by Godox in order to take a look at it and to review it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So in this video, we're going to do an unboxing. I'm going to show you guys everything that comes in the box, as well as show you how I will personally use this light in my home studio. I live stream 5 days a week. I do a lot of commercial work for my clients. And yes, having a portable, powerful light, guys, whether it's going to be your main light, whether it's going to be a fill light, or whatever the case you may have for a light like this, I think a light of this class is going to be exactly what you're looking for. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let's go. All right, guys, let's get right to what's in the box. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this because from what I've been told, there's not a lot that really comes in the box. We actually, Louis, stop it, behave. I'm trying to tell the people, Louis, I'm trying to tell the people about the light and you're blowing bubbles. This is not good. Okay, anyway, back to what I was saying. In the box, you're going to find the light body itself. You're going to find the reflector, cable, and also some documentation, which we're going to take a quick look at right here. So here is said documentation that comes with it. There's a little cleaning cloth, which is really nice. Here we have the cable. Now the cable itself is very long. Trust me, guys, that's a win, okay? So you have a super long cable here. And I love the fact that it comes with these restraint because, you know, if you like me, cable management is everything. But anyway, this is a super long cable, guys. So this is really going to come in handy. And this is very heavy duty cable. Okay. So we're going to come back to that when we need it. All right. What else do we have here in the box? All right. So the first thing I noticed is this reflector. So this guy is all metal. I've seen quite a few reflectors from budget lights that were plasticky or plastic. The Bowens mount on here looks very solid. We'll know that here in just a second. So we'll come back to that. So I'll tell you guys right off the bat, this thing has some significant weight to it. I think this weighs about 7 pounds. I will post that just to be sure. All right. All metal construction. A little bit of plastic back here at the back where you're going to find your screen. You have your DMX in and out. You have your power input. You have a standard on and off button. You have a control dial right here at the back as well. Now, as far as the mounting, there's a few plastic pieces on here, but trust me, I don't think that's going to be an issue because most of the lights in here in the studio right now are Godox lights, and these same similar style, stand mounts have lasted for years, and I see no different with this. But anyway, the yoke itself is metal and the handles are plastic. All right. So you guys can see also here in the front, there is no element cover, but I don't think that's going to be an issue either because I think most people who are going to use this light are not going to be using this light on location, even though you can. Now, I have a number of portable batteries that we might test this light with just to see if it can be powered. Okay, first things first, let's go ahead and put this on a light stand and see exactly how everything else is going to work for us. All right, there we have it. Let's go ahead and put the reflector on just to see how well it locks into place. There is no wiggle whatsoever to this reflector. There's a little button here on top that you're going to use for releasing it, like so. Comes out. Now, of course, For most of us, we're not going to be using a reflector like this. You're going to be using a softbox or some type of other modifier, but it is nice that the reflector that comes with it is such high quality, okay? So we're going to go ahead and power this guy up. We're going to take a look at some of the screens here in the back, and we'll figure out exactly where I may set this up. Now I have a number of different things that we can test this light with. Actually, you know what? Let's test this really quickly here. So I have this projector that I have used with a few of my lights, and that is this right here. Now this has some weight to it, guys, so it's going to make the light a little front heavy, but we want to see exactly how well this fits. This also is a Bowens mount. Lock it in. All right, there we go. So we have our projector. We can easily gain access to our gobos. So if you want to use this as a projector light, 330 watts, I think this is going to be an excellent, excellent light for you guys to experiment with. So I'll show you guys what that looks like from the front, from the side. And as you guys see, I'm just rotating this around with no problem whatsoever. So that's very, very reassuring. This is very promising. So I'm excited about that. All right, so let's move on to normal setup for this light. Let's take a look at the actual menus and everything else. Now to power this light, like I said before, you get this super long cable. So we're just going to plug this guy in right here. And I'm going to run this over to power. And like I said, we will also be testing this light to see if we can power this with one of my, field batteries. And we need to select our language. I'm going to bring you guys a little bit closer so you guys can see exactly what I'm seeing here related to the setup of the light. All right, guys, so you can see here we have to go through and we're going to select English as our language. And we now have power. The light is at 100%, so we definitely don't want that. Let's bring that light all the way down to, and the fans just kicked on. So what I've been told by a lot of the people that I know that are using this light currently, if you bring it down to at least 10%, the fans will turn off. And yes, it just did. The light is, the fan is now off. So here you also have the ability to go in and adjust your color temperature. So you can adjust that to whatever you want. 5600 is okay for daylight in some cases, so depending on your room, where you're going to be using this light, you may adjust the, lighting accordingly, okay? Now, you can also go in here under modes and you have different effects. You have like this flashing camera effect. You have a lightning effect. If you want to experiment with that, that's kind of cool. You also have a cloudy day effect, whatever that is. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So I think that just makes the lighting a little bit warmer. The buttons are really responsive. We have this broken bulb effect. Okay, that's different. I don't know how well I would use that. But we have quite a few different lighting effects. Here's one for fireworks. I think a lot of people might find an application or use scenario where they would use something like this fireworks effect. I have a lot of lighting in my studio, so yeah, trust me, this type of lighting could to some degree become interesting, but for most of my applications, I would say no. So we also have our standard menu here. So you have your DMX controls, you have your Bluetooth, you can turn on or off. You can reset the Bluetooth from here as well. So we can go in here and turn Bluetooth on. And then go back to the menu. We have our fan controls, display controls, language, versions, upgrades. You can upgrade this. You can connect this to a computer. There's a USB-A that you can plug into in order to do that as well. You also have your Bluetooth right here that you can do a reset on the Bluetooth. There is an NFC right here. You can just tap your phone on this NFC. If you already have the Godox app, it will connect to the app, open the app, and also connect to the phone. So that's pretty cool that it has those features. Now, like I said, I plan on using this light primarily as a studio light. I will be using it during my live streams. I'll use this probably for product videos, product photography, things like that. All right, so let's throw a light box on this. And all right, guys, so now we have the light set up here in the studio with the softbox. You guys can get a good idea of how this light looks. I'm not going to say this is going to be an ideal portable light. This would be a great light, you know, in most cases for, you know, a small studio or for product photography, product video, things like that. But the ease of use is undeniable. The fact that you can use this so easily. So one of the things I want to show you guys is how easily we can connect this to a smartphone and be able to control all of the features of the light. Let's get to it. All right, guys, so I have my iPhone here. We're just going to scan the NFC. All right, so it is scanned. It has found the light. So now at this point, I can actually control the light with just my phone. So all I have to do is click here. And now I can adjust some of the features of the light. So for instance, if we wanted to bring the intensity of the light up or down, let me turn that a little bit more towards you guys so you guys can kind of see how the effect works. So I can bring the lighting intensity up or down, whichever the case might be. We can also go in and adjust different things. You can also check for your current firmware on the light. You can do that from your phone according to what I'm seeing here, which is really nice. So a lot of cool features here. You can go in and adjust the color temperature, you know, your CCT. You can adjust that. You have all of your effects here that, again, we talked about before. We can do all of those different effects right from your smartphone, which is super cool. So I like the idea that you can do all of your controls and adjustments, especially if you had this light mounted up high someplace and you're not set up with a DMX system. This could be an ideal solution for you. Everybody's got a phone, so it's going to be easy for you to just grab your phone, adjust the light, set it up exactly where you want it. So I'm going to let this guy kind of live at about 5600 Kelvin. Now I do have the power up just a little bit, so I'm going to bring that back down to my normal standard for this little studio, which will probably be somewhere around 10% to maybe 15% on the light output. But trust me, guys, that's going to be more than enough for this small studio. All right, so we've covered pretty much everything with this light, you know, the unboxing, what comes in the box, the simple setup, using a smartphone to control the light, testing it, you know, as far as its stability with the different weighted modifiers and even larger softboxes. I don't think it's going to be an issue for you because I have a much smaller light over here that I'm using it as a key light for my live stream. And it's a very small, compact Godox light. And it has a huge, huge softbox on it. And it's able to support that with no problems whatsoever. So in a nutshell, I will say that this is an ideal, perfect light for someone who is getting started, who is creating a small studio, who's doing video work, who's doing photography, whatever the case it may be. This is a good light. Now, I did mention I was going to test this light to see if we can power this with a portable battery. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys. So this is one of my Blue Yeti portable lights. This actually comes in one of their backpacks. So this is a battery that I take out with me a lot on location. It does have AC and DC power delivery. So we're going to plug in to our AC plug right back here in the back. And I'm going to turn this guy on and see if this small battery will be able to power it. And as you guys can see, it is able to power this light. Now, what I'm curious about is how bright I can make the light just from this battery source. So let's see if there's going to be a cutoff point. So I am at 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%. We're at 70% output for this light. 80%. Now I did hear the fan just turn on our battery. We're at 90% output on this light. We are at 100% output on this light from this little 300 watt battery. So yes, you can use this light on location with a powerful, this is not even a powerful battery, guys. I have batteries that exceed 2000 watts. This is only a 300 watt battery. So as you guys can see, it's very slim as well. So if you need to do a project on location, this could be ideal. All right, let's see how easily I can adjust this light back. So we're going to bring this guy down to maybe 10%. All right, so that's back at 10% now on the light. And another cool thing about this light, if I didn't mention it before, you can bring this all the way down to 0 or maybe just 1% if you just need a little kiss of light. So right now this is at 1%, so pretty cool. All right, guys, it's been your buddy Rome with Rome Knows Tech. I just wanted to do an unboxing and an initial look at this new Godox light. Hopefully you guys are inspired to get out and start creating with something like this. I think this is going to be an ideal setup for anyone, whether you're a professional, whether you're an amateur, you know, an aspiring professional, whatever the case it may be, whether you're doing photography, videography, having a practical, professional-ish light is going to be a win. Yes, my dog just walked through the scene. It happens. It happens. This studio is always chaos. Between this guy and that guy, there's always some drama. Anyway, my babies, it's time for me to go ahead and wrap it up. But I will see you guys in the next video. I would give this light Rome's stamp of approval because I have been using Godox lights for years as far as still lights, strobes, continuous lights. Man, I'm telling you, they make some amazing lights. So definitely check this light out. All right, guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe. Peace. I'm out.